Ramsuratkumar ki Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Ashram. Every day we have been appealing to the compassion and generosity of Bhagwan to come to our rescue at the earliest, immediately, to return the humanity to normalcy. Yet, whatever is happening is very disturbing, and still we shall not stop. We shall not get discouraged. We shall always hope for the best. Bhagwan has said, not a single Nama goes waste. Not a single prayer goes waste. Every Nama that we have all been chanting together must invoke a huge grace, and that should be working around. We will be able to see sometime soon how things have improved, how this grace has been working all the time. I've been telling how the Paramatma, the Supreme God, is seated inside all of us. In all kinds of creatures, in the entire creation. It is He who has become the creation. It is He who created it, and it is He who has become the creation as well. The very creation is there only to remind us of the Creator behind it. The Parabrahman, the Supreme God, as He is inside us, is a mere witness. He is simply watching whatever is happening. He is only aware of himself. But if you want to invoke, to awaken this witness into action, you have to pray, you have to call out, and you have to call out desperately. Then He responds as Ishvara, a compassionate, Karunamaya Ishvara. Every one of us, even the ant, the wriggling worm, the tiny, tiny plants that you see all around, the trees, the birds, the animals, including the stone. The stone has consciousness. Bhagwan, the Paramatma, is seated inside us as pure awareness, pure consciousness. He is the soul of the soul. He is the soul of the individual soul. And He is present even in a stone. There is no place where He is not. Now, how to wake Him up to our suffering? The only way is to cry out from the depths of our heart His name. so that this impassionate witness God will wake up, look upon us with compassion and mercy. He is not outside in the temple, he is there, but not only there. He is not out there in the Kailash or Vaikuntha. Wherever the Paramatma is, the whole cosmos, including all the worlds, the world of Devatas, the Vaikuntha, the Kailash, everything is contained in him. And he is right inside us. No matter in what situation we are, what is stopping us from calling out? So let us remember to call him, to cry out to him from the depths of our heart. As I said, it is in this divinity, which is called Chaitanya, our every breath is rooted. The in-breath and the out-breath. And where the breath starts, and there the I thought also starts. The I thought is familiar to all of us when we say, I am so-and-so. Now, I am so-and-so, this I of this identity is coming, starting with the breath. Every time the breath starts, the I thought also starts. And that is why the thoughts are very closely connected with the breath. So there is certain technology where they control the breath. By controlling the breath, they control the mind also. They are very closely related. Now we need not go to Raja Yoga. And Ramana Maharishi says, Atma Vichara. What does he mean by it? He says, as I have understood, where the I thought starts is where your breath also starts. And there you look with your entire being to see what is there, with no preconceived ideas. You look there, you simply look there with your entire being to know what is there. That is God, and that should reveal itself. You cannot find out with your limited mind. You can simply look at the spot with your entirety, and then it begins to reveal itself to you. This is true Atma Vichara. It's not simply asking, who am I, because the mind is going to answer it. The mind is asking, the mind is answering. But to go beyond the mind, you have to look at the point where the breath starts, where the I thought, the ego I starts. That's our only clue. But our Bhagwan has said, it's very difficult, especially when the mind is filled with racing thoughts all the time. Like a monkey jumping from one branch to the other. The mind is always working, overworking. There are only thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. It is thought torture. How to control it, how to call out to God, how to beg Him despite all these thoughts. Very difficult to do Atma Vichara, very difficult to do dhyana, concentration on one single form or one single mantra. So what is the next best? This is what Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar taught us. He said, Your breath is very close to the Chaitanya. It is very close to the divinity. It is where it starts. So, you chant the name of God. You call out, just as you would cry out to somebody. When you are in trouble, you call out to somebody by name. Hey, you are there. Please come and help. Like this, you call out to God in desperation with your entire being. He is so close to your breath. He is so close to your life. And it is in His consciousness your very thoughts occur. How would He not know what you want, what you need? He is all-knowing. He is the all-knowing consciousness. Every thought that you get happens only in this consciousness. His pure consciousness, His all-pervasive consciousness. But when He puts a little Maya into this pure consciousness, then the consciousness becomes limited, and that is your consciousness. It is the limited consciousness of man. What do I mean by that? I do not know what is going to happen in future. I do not know what is behind me. I can only know what is in front of me. So limited it is. But God consciousness, it can go back several yugas and know what happened. And again it can go forward several yugas after and tell you what will happen. All-knowing, all-pervasive, and all-powerful. So knowing this, these are the attributes of God whom you are carrying within you all the time. Please be aware, this God is not outside in a temple, not elsewhere that you have to go climb up the mountain Kedar, or Kailash, or Tirupati. All these patis are there right inside us. It takes only one step. They say God is closer to us than our own breath. Because our every breath is rooted in Him. 21,000 times every day. It goes and knocks at the door of this Chaitanya, at the door of Vaikunta, Kailash. So Bhagwan says, God is so close to you, closer to you than your breath. Just call out. Didn't He say, when you call out the name Rama, Rama is instantly with you. Why? Because the word and its meaning are inseparable. He said, just as Kalidas said in Raghuvamsa, Parvati and Parameshwara are inseparable. Just as a word is inseparable from its meaning, Parvati and Parameshwara are inseparable. So Bhagwan caught hold of that. This happened when I went to Sannadi Street House, when I was seated there in that small veranda. Bhagwan was asking everybody around the meaning of the two lines in Raghuvamsa, which say that Parvati and Parameshwara are inseparable, just as the word and its meaning are inseparable. And when somebody translated it, Bhagwan laughed and said, you see, the word and its meaning are inseparable. So what is the meaning of the word Rama? The meaning of the word Rama is Rama's presence, Rama's power, Rama's karuna, grace. So when you say Rama, its meaning, Rama's presence, is instantly there. When you call out Krishna, Krishna is instantly there. Because Krishna's presence is the meaning of the word Krishna. You cannot separate the meaning from the word. When you call out Shiva, Shiva is instantly present. When you call out to Yogi Ramsuratkumar, he said, my father is instantly present. Which means the meaning of the word Yogi Ramsuratkumar is a supreme father. Which again in turn means he is the supreme father. When you call out in distress, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, the Paramatma is seated, Yogi Ramsuratkumar is seated right inside the lotus of your heart. Wouldn't he hear? They say the noise, the sound of a crawling ant can be heard by God. Why wouldn't he? God is consciousness. And it is in this consciousness an ant crawls. So when God can hear the sigh of a butterfly, the sound of a crawling ant, wouldn't he hear your Nama? The Nama that you cry out in distress. Bhagwan said another time, if you give a name to a dog and you call out, and the dog is somewhere out in the fields, the minute you call out, Jimmy, Jimmy, the dog comes running to you, comes charging. You give a name to a cat, and the minute you call out the name of the cat knows it's being called. When somebody calls you by name who is far away, wouldn't you know that you are being called? So when you call out the name of God, wouldn't he know that you are calling him? He would rush, help. He would rush to you and do the needful. Call out. So, when we are in deep distress, when we are in acute suffering, the only thing that we can do without any external help is call out the name of God. This is our first aid, and it will provide all other follow-up aids. Do not underestimate the value of the name. Nama is Nami himself, and Nami is the supreme intelligence that runs the whole cosmos with its infinite details. Bhagwan also said, chanting the name is prayer. Chanting the name is surrender. Chanting the name is samadhi. What did he mean? He said chanting the name is prayer. Just imagine Yogi Ramsuratkumar seated inside the heart lotus. The minute you call out Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, who has been a mere witness, sitting there, aware of only his awareness, would suddenly wake up. He would hear your call in distress. When he hears your call in distress, he becomes Ishvara. The ever-aware witness now becomes Ishvara, filled with compassion and mercy. And that's how you get immediate help, guidance, protection. He's right inside you. So, he said, there is no need to pray separately when you call out the name of God. Why? The minute you call out, the witness consciousness, which is God, wakes up and responds as Ishvara, and therefore he knows your feelings, your prayers. When he says God is instantly present when you call out the name of God, why is that we are not aware of it? What Bhagwan says is true. When I call out Yogi Ramsuratkumar, I must be aware that the presence of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. But we are not aware immediately. Why? He says, Yogi Ramsuratkumar is instantly present and he is aware of your distress. You are not aware because your mind is filled with the whole world. It's filled with your desires. It's filled with all your feelings and emotions. It's filled with the darkness of ignorance. And so it's difficult for you to detect the presence of God, but the God knows already what is on your mind. And that's why Bhagwan said, there is no need to pray separately. The Nama is a conscious entity. When you call out the name knows that you are calling out God, because the name is God. The Bible, it starts like this, the word is God. What does it mean? The name is God. The name is named. And Bhagwan said, Nama chanting leads to surrender. How? The Nama carries the quantum of divine energy. And every time you call out, every time you chant the name, a certain divine energy in proportion to your bhakti, in proportion to your awareness of God, is released inside you. And this pure divine energy is like detergent. You know, when the clothes are dirty, stained, you use the soap and wash. And how the stain leaves, how the dirt leaves. Like that, every time you chant the name, the divine energy of the name gets released inside you, and it starts its cleansing work of your mind, which is filled with passion, anger, attachment to money, self-pride, jealousy, and desires for the worldly objects. These are all the dirt of the ego. They are the products of the ego. So every Nama will go into you to cleanse. But then you see all this, the ego and its products, passion, anger, grief, because you did not get something or you lost something, the self-pride, jealousy, they have been with you over janmas, and they have thickened to such extent, it takes a lot of effort to remove them. That's why we have to chant and chant and chant all the time. It takes crores of names to get completely cleansed. Nevertheless, every Nama does its transforming work. Every Nama does its cleansing work. And the deeper is your bhakti, the greater is the Shakti of the name, and harder it works. So, here the Nama that you chant As it cleanses the mind becomes soft, sattvic. And in your sattvic mode, you begin to understand the subtleties of truths, the subtleties of the soul, subtleties of the Paramatma. You understand that it is by God's will everything happens in the world. God is perfect, so whatever happens is perfect. This is what our Bhagwan said. When you begin to understand that everything is happening only by God's will, and whatever happens is perfect, and whatever happens is necessary for your spiritual growth, and so whatever happens is a blessing, you will be able to accept things as they come. This acceptance will lead to surrender later on. Of course, in the beginning, it's very difficult to accept things. When somebody throws abuse at you, how to accept it? But the minute you think, okay, this man is abusing me by the will of God, so it is truly coming from God in order to cleanse me. Because when a man abuses you, he is taking some of your sins away upon himself. To that extent you get cleansed. When a man praises you, he is taking away some of your good karmas upon himself, and he would benefit and you would stand to lose. There is this constant exchange of karmas by the law of karma. And only man is bound by law of karma, because God has given us the discrimination, like I said yesterday. So we are tied by the string of karmas, because we think all the time that we are doing it, we also have to face the consequences of that. So here, every nama that we chant cleanses us so that the mind becomes more and more sattvic, and in our sattvic bhava, we begin to understand the subtleties of the working of grace, and in so doing, you begin to accept things as they are, coming from God. And this acceptance slowly, though it starts with reluctance, it slowly develops into surrender. And once you get surrender, your faith also becomes 100%. Where there is faith and surrender, you are already there. You are in samadhi. It's only a small step. So whatever Bhagwan said, let us contemplate deeply upon that and know that every nama is doing its transforming work. No single nama goes waste. And Bhagwan has also said, chanting the name helps the individual and the people around and the whole world, and his work, his father's work. So let's remember all that. And above all, Yogi Ramsuratkumar is right inside us, so close to us. He is closer to us than our own breath. The minute you just whisper Yogi Ramsuratkumar, he hears it and he knows what is on your mind. And he has promised to rush help to us. So let's call out Yogi Ramsuratkumar with deep faith that he would rush help immediately. Now this Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, is right in front of us. Let us appeal to him with our prayers for today. Bhagwan, we call out your name with a hope that you would rush help to us immediately. We want your immediate divine intervention to free the people, especially people of India, Panic is reigning everywhere. Please free people from the dreadful grip of this monstrous virus and bring back normalcy once again. Bhagwan, kindly root out the panic in the hearts of people and stop the rapid spread of the disease. Enter the medicine and make it work and kill the entire clan of viruses. And all these people who need help by way of oxygen, a room and proper medical treatment, they're all waiting in distress. Please reach out to them with your mercy and do the needful so that they get whatever they want, get well soon, and come back home. And all those volunteers, all those great people, the tapaswins who have volunteered to toil day and night at the very risk of their life in order to save other lives. Please give them protection and all-round well-being. We beg you for a lift to our economy, and above all, you have to bless us with constant remembrance of your name. You have to bless us with the right attitude, the attitude of being good instrument in your hands. And Bhagwan, bless us with that transformation which will help us to see only your presence and blessings in every event of our life. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar.